On today's program, and soon on the screen, the sci-fi film Jurassic World, the fourth part in the famous series Jurassic Park, will be shown. And recently in Spain, there was held the 4th International Circus Festival, where artists of the Almaty State Circus won a prestigious award. See the story in the program Art Event. And in On the Frontline, we dove into the creative process of the theater ARTiSHOCK, where rehearsals are well underway for a new play entitled Le Grand Kahir, which is based on the same-name novel by Agota Kristof. The hero of today's Master Has It is musicologist Yuri Aravin. The American science fiction film Jurassic World is coming soon to the 4th part of a series of the famous Jurassic Park, which is directed by Colin Trevorrow. The action takes place 22 years after the events of Jurassic Park. The play is created by John Hammond, and it is located in the island of Nublar. But by this time, the attendance is already beginning to fall, and the company that owns the park has decided to open up a new attraction to attract visitors. Unlike the old park, the new one has a new kind of dinosaur, which has been grown artificially. At the beginning, they are very calm, but soon their aggression wakes up within them, and in the consequence of which is one visitor is killed. Grady Owen, the police officer, volunteers to investigate the murder. Filming lasted from April to August of 2014 in Hawaii. The original title of the film was Jurassic Park 4: Extinction, but the latter film has been renamed. The film's budget is $150 million. The main role went to the actor Chris Pratt, although initially Josh Brolin was considered as a main character. It also stars Bryce Dallas Howard, Vincent D'Onofrio, Nick Robinson, Ty Simpkins, Omar Sy, and others. The artists of Almaty's Kazakh State Circus have received a prestigious award at the 4th International Circus Festival in the Spanish town of Figueres. Trapeze artists Andrei and Alia Kanahins, with the act named You and I, beating many competitors, won the Silver Elephant. The Bright Circus act conquered the jury with its sensational and high-grade performance. The relationship of the man and the woman is brightly shown there. The festival took place in Spain near Barcelona in the town of Figueres, the birthplace of Salvador Dali. This is the 4th International Circus Festival. I, as a representative of Kazakhstan, was a member of the official jury. We were 10 people. The circus act You and I by Andrei and Alia Kanahins presents the Almaty Circus. This act was built on a synthesis, on feelings, and the fusion of multiple genres: acrobatics, gymnastics, and vertical mast. The festival was attended by more than 15 countries around the world, and it means that there were 25 of the most brilliant circus acts of different genres. Totally 250 people attended the event. The festival was very difficult. Our artists have been awarded the Silver Elephant and 3 special prizes. The International Circus Festival in Figueres is one of the most prestigious annual circus events in Europe. It is often compared with the famous Circus Festival in Monte Carlo. Kazakh artists once again have proved their professionalism and worthiness of representing Kazakhstan in the world arena. Surely it is a great victory for us, because we consciously went towards this. We planned it and we dreamed of it. But when we received these awards, at first we couldn't believe that we got the Silver Award and even were able to take it home, the largest number of prizes from the festival. Our performance was built only on feelings, love, and that's it. Love from the beginning to the end. We open our senses to the public. People should watch not just the performance, but believe in the story that you tell. People must believe in the story of their lives. We are two completely different people, and we are connected in this area, by this circle. We worked in 2 different genres, and our performance tells the audience the story of our relationship. Finally, we merge into a single genre and into a single family. Rehearsals of the new performance, Le Grand Kahir, of the novel by Agota Kristof, are well underway in the theater ARTiSHOCK. The director is from Novosibirsk, Anna Zinovieva, who is known for the performance of The Accompanist and Cow, and is working on the production and performance. The play describes wartime, a cruel and cold season, where any of us could be. According to the creators, it was a very heartfelt and touching performance that will not leave anyone indifferent. The action takes place during World War II in Hungary. 2 10-year-old boys are evacuated by their mom to a village where their grandmother lives, and here they begin their adult life. There's nobody to protect them, and they begin to explore their world. The entire troupe of ARTiSHOCK is involved in this performance, as well as the remarkable ensemble Hapana Sasa, and another guest actor, Dmitry Dyagilev. It is very difficult of an issue because you have to speak simply about complicated things, and maybe sometimes in a funny way or an ironic way, because the theme of war is difficult. That's why we need to make spectators take part in the dialogue and listen, in spite of making these disconnections from us. That's the hardest part, to find a common language to speak with the people in the hall. The idea of the play is a very simple one, that war is very bad, and war sweeps away the thin crust of civilization, which covers all of us. And beneath this thin crust, there is an entire life. And war, unfortunately, destroys civilization, and all of its brutality comes out. It is a very revealing performance against the war. I am the grandmother in the play. There is such a character, and it's interesting to note that I like it. I really wanted to try something different and new. Not just to play a grandmother, but to try to find an image that rejects all kinds of masks, and to try to create something new. Her attitude is based on a survival instinct. When a person is hand-to-hand with nature, you can certainly identify. But on the stage, you don't think about how you're behaving, what you're wearing, and so on. This is the first time I'm working with Anna Zinovieva. I'm very curious to have something new. And this is a good and interesting work experience. And this ability to create something new and original and unusual with this team, it always gives me an impetus. I play negative characters, and there are several of them. One of them is a German officer. The second is a Batman of the German officer. I'm kind of a proverb of the invaders who have come to Hungary. How they treat the local population and how the population does the same. The role is interesting enough to justify this action. Not all of them want to fight. They are forced. They don't have a choice. But they are still the occupiers and negative characters. A musicologist is a very interesting and multifaceted profession that requires a large and diverse knowledge of the field of music. He can tell you the story and the creation of a musical work, to reveal its features in a biographical accuracy. He is acquainted with the works of our beloved composers and analyzes the masterpieces of our world. A musicologist also should be good and fluent at expressing his thoughts both orally and in written form. Today, the honored worker of the Republic of Kazakhstan, Yuri Aravin, the famous music critic and musicologist, will tell us about his craft. You know, when I'm asked about how I became a musicologist and why, I can tell you a lot about these pleasant memories of my childhood and of my youth. We arrived in Kazakhstan when I was 6 years old. My father was invited by Akhmet Zhubanov to the Department of History of Music at the Conservatory, which had just been created. And he was an undisputed head of the department for 32 years, from 1947 to 1979. It was the 1950s, and this was my childhood. And in this house there were composers like Zhubanov, Hamed, Brusilovsky, and all these musical and composer elites. We lived in communication, and I always had the live sound of instruments around me, piano and violin. My mom sang as well, and my father accompanied her. The dumbra was also played. And since childhood, I absorbed it all. My father used to deeply and seriously engage in Russian music. His works were published abroad. Here, naturally, as a scientist, he became interested in the fundamentals of Kazakh music. And I watched the whole process of his work. When he died, I published his works. To this day, these works have no precedent. Davlet Kere, Kazakh Dombra music of the 19th century, is fundamental research. Accordingly, I also became myself interested in this issue, and in my thesis and dissertation and special course at the Conservatory of Kazakh Music, they were all devoted to this topic. But the concept of musicology, I would say, is extensible and knitwear. I'm a teacher. Most of all, I respect enlightenment, the Philharmonic scene, TV, radio, and of course scientific works. My program for 25 years has gone on the TV, Museum of Sounds, about Kazakh music. We have already shot about 700 programs and more than 1,000 going on the air. But in order to prepare the program about Kazakh music, it's necessary to revise a lot of archival sources. There are not many textbooks about it. But the most important thing is to watch life itself, because people encounter the process of creating the program, they're folk musicians. And each of them are fantastically interesting people. They know much more than I can say about them. The horse, for example, is always changing in its rhythm. To clarify this point, I went to the racetrack with a microphone, and I began to write a variety of rhythms. And I made sure that there was an alternating rhythm of a horse, and another layer of rhythm that goes with me. Sitting in the saddle, the third rhythm is when you listen to it. And the fourth is a visual rhythm. And it turns into a polyrhythmic entity. This is an extremely interesting point. When I'm asked, do you play an instrument, I answer, of course I do. I play the most important instrument, the fibro of the human soul. My task is to prepare the listener to perceive music. I say opening remarks and I tell the history, the theory, the aesthetics of music. And in this way, I prepare the audience. And when I see that they're ready and prepared, I leave the stage and I give the audience to the executor, and he takes it further into the world of sounds.